Ooh la la la. Ooh la la la. It's the way that we rock when we doing our thing. Ooh la la la.
So this is part 2 of the interview that the Love and Marriage Huntsville fan page owner, Miss Lula, did with LaTisha and Marsau. Take a listen and comment below.
You have some people that's like that bent on disliking Marsau or misunderstanding our relationship or disliking me, and they're gonna believe whatever anybody has to say without any proof or whatever because they're like, I just don't like her. And you know, and that's fine. You're not gonna be liked by everybody, and I understand that. But
47 million Americans didn't like President Obama. You know, Jesus was killed.
Yeah.
And I'm not Jesus or President Obama, but you've never seen us both in the same room. So. I'm just joking.
Marsau, I read an article, I'm not sure how true it is, but it said the season, allegedly, it said that you said that this season we weren't going to like you. Did you say that? If so, why is that?
No, you might not. You might not.
He did say it.
Because when I hit hard.
Oh.
And after I get hit, I hit and I'm not really ultimately concerned because I'm at a point in life where you're responsible for your words. And don't just say that shit to me. You know, you don't have a right to walk up to me and just say this what you want to say. And if you want to play this game, I'm going to show you how it feels. And so I've been put in a position to where there's a glass and a concrete. Right. You drop the glass, the glass breaks. You know what I'm saying? And that's life. And so when you walk up to me and you say these things and you choose to operate with me in that capacity,
right, then
here's the repercussions. Stop.
So playing. you're not holding back, it seems like, and you might be hurting some feelings.
And I think we've been doing good for the past 3 seasons. Like, we've been holding back, not saying certain things we know to be true about certain people.
And I'm still not going to do that. I mean,
certain things.
I'm not going to turn into. I'm not going to get a skirt out. We're not doing that. But at the same time, is that it's important for. I don't want to be your punching bag.
Right. No, I'm tired of being your punching bag.
You know.
Yeah. So.
Tisha, there are questions about how do you tune out the negative comments that are about you or your marriage? Like, how are you navigating that on social media?
I mean, because I've been dealing with this for so long now, I'm like, they're just going to be negative people. So you may get blocked. So I may block you, delete. Sometimes I go back and forth with people. It just depends on my day, how my day is going, and how I'm feeling at the time.
Got you. And then we have questions about, like, the questions are coming in, but there are questions about you and Kimmy, especially after the comment Kimmy made about you guys wouldn't be friends if you weren't like sister-in-laws. Like, how are you guys navigating that relationship? Are we going to see that play out in this upcoming season?
Yeah, you're definitely going to. I mean, we picked right up from.
Wow.
We picked up from the reunion, and we're going, and we're still in the process of filming right now. So, you guys are going to see that, and at the end of the day, I love Kimmy. Kimmy loves me. And sometimes when you have expectations of people and they fail your expectation, you know, I change my expectations. So hopefully our relationship, you know, could be better. But at the end of the day, I love Kimmy. And she's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. We're married to best friends. So it's going to be difficult for us to be like, I ain't talking to that chick because I ain't fooling with her. You know, we're going to have to figure it out. And the husband, they have been hands off with it. They're like, we're going to let you and Kimmy figure this thing out. And so you guys are going to get a chance to see us trying to figure it out and see where it goes.
I think that's fair. And my question to you is, have you communicated your new expectations with Kimmy? Because I feel like the last 3 seasons, there was a lot of miscommunication with standards and expectations in your friendship. And it was growing quickly, especially with like the reality TV show and other friend groups being added. How are you guys navigating the communication piece of it this time around?
I think we're better. And there's some things we just agree to disagree on. You know, and this was our first time, Kimmy and I, this on the TV show was our first time really having an issue within our relationship. We've never had an issue. Yeah. So when you guys saw that play out, you saw real emotions, real conversations, and real feelings. So we just was like, listen, we just didn't agree with this. I didn't agree with something she said. She didn't agree with some things I said. So it was like, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree and move forward.
Yeah, sounds like there's some boundaries maybe being put on. And
Yeah, I think so. Yep, absolutely.
super excited to see that. There are questions about Miss Wanda. I love Miss Wanda, by the way.
You gotta do an interview with her.
I want to. I think I want to reach out to her so I can interview her. I'm thinking once like her episode airs, then I want to have a conversation with her.
She's a firecracker, and she's still the firecracker.
You're gonna need a interpreter.
First of all, well, we ain't gonna do that.
So there's two questions. One is, how's your relationship, Marsau? How's your relationship with Miss Wanda? And then the other question for LaTisha is Miss Wanda still involved with Kimmy? Like, are they still arguing?
I think they can answer that question themselves.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's a relationship, you know. So our relationship is definitely a relationship, and not to say that the relationship isn't a relationship, because it actually is. But she is a, you know, I think that, you know, she's been sent in my life as some to help me get to the next level.
Okay. What does that mean? What does that mean?
It's like, you know, the pastors be like, they be telling all kind of wicked stories about God. Like, oh, God will put a dog behind you and make you run faster. Or I think that might be. She's helping me ignore other people on social media.
Okay.
Really?
She's helped me learn how to ignore people.
Oh, interesting. But you did not call her a dog, though, right? Let's just
yeah, right. I was saying there's a comparison.
Yeah.
Clarify
sure
that.
That's clear.
Did I?
Yes, there was a very
Crazy.
Clear that up, Marsau. This is how like headlines start. So
Marsau calls Miss Wanda a dog. Did I say that?
Well, you did like an analysis, so we need to make sure.
An analogy. You give an analogy about.
I don't know.
See what I have to deal with? That's why I stay out of it.
But you don't stay out of it, though.
I do. I absolutely stay out of it. Y'all try to put me in it, but I be trying to stay out of that thing. I'm like, y'all deal with it yourselves.
We're watching the same television.
I don't know. The people are saying, Tisha, you'll stay out of it. They're like,
She doesn't stay out of it.
I
She doesn't stay
try
out of it.
to.
She does not stay out of it. And this is she's like, what are you talking about? Stay out of it, you know? Not even close.
Okay, so a few more questions about the upcoming season. Tisha, there are questions about you and Destiny's friendship. It looks like you two are closer this season. What can you tell us about that?
It just happened. Like, we didn't plan anything. We just, honestly, Destiny she was new on the show. You know, she came on the show as male friend, and I stayed away from that. And then, like, she started coming to Black, and we just started talking. And then being Huntsville is so small, we have, like, some mutual friends. I went to Alabama A&M, and I'm close to some people that's close to her, that's her family member. And they're like, you know, she's cool people. And so I opened myself up to get to know her a little bit better. And then our relationship it's still growing and developing. Like, I'm still getting to know her. She's still getting to know me. We worked on a project together. I post that. And it was fun. You know, we traveled to Atlanta. And that was our really first time really having some one-on-one together. And we was like, girl, you're cool peeps. And she's like, you're cool peeps. And so we're just really just enjoying getting to know one another and forming a relationship and see where it goes.
There was a scene in a trailer that came out this Saturday. Like, I don't know if it was like a brunch setting, all of you guys, and you got up, and then other people got up. Like, what can you tell us about that?
Nothing. Kimmy put that together. That's all I gotta say. Kimmy, do you have an interview with Kimmy coming up?
I reached out to them. Can you please text them for me? I would love to.
I will. I will.
Kimmy's superstar now.
Right.
Well, if she could fit me in like for 10
I gotta
minutes.
schedule time just to
We
talk
gotta
to her.
schedule. You know what I should
But
call
the
her
good
right
thing
now.
about it is, she's an amazing secretary. Maurice is her secretary. We call him Mr. Kimmy. Or Kimmy's husband.
Kimmy husband.
Oh,
And
Maurice
he's
is the
amazing.
secretary for Kimmy. Okay.
Yeah, he is. He's an amazing secretary. So he takes a lot of her pictures. He writes a lot of her posts. He writes down the cookbooks. Like he puts the different little small ingredients, things like that. So I mean, when I say supportive, he is the best supporting actor in a reality TV series or unscripted TV series goes to Reese.
I will let her know. We was just together for a weekend trip, so I'll let her know to check her messages so she can get back in contact with you. So maybe she can elaborate on that because that's all Kimmy. She put it together.
Okay. Mm-hmm. There's a question about you wearing Team Wife T-shirt. I didn't see that, but
I'm a wife, right? Listen, I'm a wife, and I purchase things that I like. I saw a Team Wife shirt. We're on the same show together. So I'm like, hey, I'm Team Wife. So I purchase it. So we support each other. At the end of the day, the drama is the drama.
Okay.
But just like I shop at Target or any of these other stores, I can shop with amongst people that I know. So. And
we weren't being petty at all.
Okay, y'all heard it here first. Well, I don't know about that laugh, so.
I'm Team Wife. I'm all for the wives out here because I'm Team Wife, 16 years.
Okay. Well, there you go. She answered it for you guys. So where do you stand with Melody? Are we going to see you guys like mending your relationship, or is this?
You guys are going to see. I've been labeled the enemy. I don't know how I even got that title, but I'm the enemy. So you guys should see I'm sure she's going to explain herself. So we'll be watching it together to see that.
Okay.
Part. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Season 4 seems like it's packed with a lot of different dynamics.
Popping. Get your wine, get your champagne, your chocolate champagne together because it is going to be a show.
Oh, yes.
Marsau, there are questions about your brother, Mark, in the comments that he make on social media.
No, those are grown men making grown men posts, and you should ask grown men about them grown men posts.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
That's fair. Let me just go through these questions real quickly and make sure that, because we have oh, Tisha, congratulations on your broker license, commercial broker license. What is the plan? Are you planning on opening your own real estate? Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. I'm gonna open my own commercial real estate company.
Wow, that's amazing. Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you.
I
do. Scott Realty.
There are a lot of comments about you can't comment, but I can see it, so I'm seeing your comments. But if you're not following the page, I have blocked it because there was a lot of toxic comments being left. So you have to follow the page to leave comments. But I'm seeing your comments and your questions. What are the first steps for entering construction or real estate with zero experience?
I would say it depends on what you want to do in real estate. Like, do you want to be an agent? Do you want to be an investor? You have to first figure out what it is you want to do. If you want to be an investor, you need to get your broker on your team. If you want to be an agent, you have to take your real estate classes to get your license. And then find you a company to work under that has like a mentorship program that's going to guide you and lead you to be a good agent. So it's just such a broad field. You have to determine where it is you want to be and take those steps from there. And Google answer a lot of these, answer some questions too about this. So, yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give to new entrepreneurs or people who want to start like the entrepreneur life?
I would say begin with the end in mind, and let me be more specific. One of the most common goals that everyone has is to be successful. Mm-hmm. And you talk to them and say, hey man, I really want to be successful. I really want to be successful. And my question is always the exact same. What is success? How do you define success? And to be more specific, I give you this analogy. If I was walking out the store, someone said, hey man, can you give me a ride home? And I said, sure. The very first question I'd ask them is, where do you live? And you can't say, oh, it's a big house. It's great. You like it. It has 6 bedrooms. It's 4 bathrooms. It's white. All these things are cool. But where is it? where is that house? What city, what state,
What's the
what
address?
street, what number, what zip code, what is the specific location of your home?
Mhm.
What is success for you? And for the people that don't understand it, you have to break it down to the point where, and really work your way backwards, because we keep thinking that, oh, we want to be a doctor, we want to be a lawyer, we want to be this, we want to be this, because we think that that's what success is. And so for the entrepreneur, you know, everyone says, well, I want to do this, I want to make $1 million my first year. Because that $1 million means that I have a $1 million business, I'm successful.
Mm-hmm.
Really what you have to step back in is, as far as an entrepreneur, and really put, like a GPS. You've got to put the address in for this thing to work. And once you put the address in, then this blue line appears and it automatically says, this is where you're at, and this is all you do to get there. And it becomes math from that point. So my first piece of advice to the entrepreneur is write down on paper what their definition of success in this field is. And then put a date by that. It says, hey, listen, by the end of 2023, I want to have, you know, I want to have a location that's, you know, X big. I want to have annual volume of, you know, 2,000 people coming in. I want to, and get to the key performance indicators. I want them paying, you know, I want my average ticket to be, you know, $20.50 a head or whatever. And so then once you start putting this big number in, you work your way down to the small numbers. Because you know, example, $1 million. $1 million costs about $6,000 a month. That's the loan on $1 million. So you go from $1 million problem to a 6,000 problem. And 6,000 is nothing but 12 people paying you $500 a month. You go from 6,000 to a 12 problem. In order to get 12 people, you got to make 40 phone calls. You go from a 12 to a 40 problem. In order to get 40 phone calls, you got to hire one person. Now one person can make you $1 million, but you've got to work your way backwards from the address to where you are.
Right. It's like scaling down this, I forgot which book I read recently, but talked about the power of small goals, being able to break down your big dreams to very small, scalable, attainable goals that you can like connect it to reality.
Key performance indicators.
There you go. Yeah.
How hard would it be for you to drive down the road and know how much gas you had? You'd have to literally have a stick and get out and put in a thing, but you create a dashboard to let you know that you have X amount of gas, or in this time, you've went this distance, a speedometer. And so those are the small things, these key performance indicators that allow us to navigate this vehicle through life.
Right.
And see the signs and be able to look over. Because you cannot tell someone how to become successful as an entrepreneur. What you can tell them is begin with a burning desire. Hell, go read Think and Go Rich.
Yeah.
But begin with a burning desire. Begin with a very specific point of where it marks success. And I guarantee you that there's going to be detours. There's going to be traffic jams. There's going to be a better route. But if you have that internal compass of what defines success for you, then you're going to make it.
Oh, that was powerful. That was powerful. There are questions about, are you open to holding classes with about entrepreneurship? They didn't really clarify, but.
I am. And one of the main reasons why is because in my heart, and this is why I even went on the rant after the last social mania, is because I really don't, I'm tired of people being led astray by fictitious things. All right. I don't want people to look at this TV show and just get t-shirts and caps and champagne and stuff like that. I want people to get something from us. You know, that's why we're here. We're here to, you know, to actually make this thing connect. That's why the comeback group was there. That's why we are in this right here. And that's why we stomach this nonsense sometimes in order to continue to have a platform to be able to impact that person that wants to develop those communities, that wants to be a better person.
Right.
And so I do want to hold classes, because part of the classes is not going to be all this good stuff you want to hear. You're not going to hear, oh, your network is your net worth. And, you know, when God just pray about it, then God says, you know, do this, and then you go afterwards. That's not, I get that, and that's cool. But How'd you get out the driveway?
You gotta do the work.
What does do the work mean? What's
Yeah.
the practical application of all these things? And so we
Right.
talk high, and then we
Right.
get down to the functional part of
Right.
how to become a great business person.
Right. I think especially with social media, we get to see the end product with everyone. And
Right.
a lot of us don't really share the struggle phase, the redirecting phase, the falling apart phase. So I think we're losing touch
Right.
with like the
And that's why people say we got a bad marriage.
And
That's
that's
why.
the most important phase. You
Because they
see
see
the
it.
struggle.
They see the barely won.
Yeah.
Almost didn't catch it, but I caught it. That's how you win Super Bowls. Inches. Calls that went your way. He wouldn't have won if it wasn't for this. We would have won if it wasn't for this. I mean, seriously, this is really how it's done.
Right.
But no one wants to see that.
Right.
Everyone wants to see that us that sit back and say that we never let the sun go down on our anger.
Right. We're perfect, or we take these pretty pictures and put it on social media, but with the show, you guys actually get to see the struggle.
And then our goal is that if you see this struggle and you see us being successful at the end, when you get to that struggle, you won't feel so isolated and so different.
Absolutely.
You won't feel that you're at a point like, oh, well, they didn't do it, so I'm the only person. People think that they're the only people going through this stuff in their marriage.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
So being married for 4 years, I think there is a beauty in being able to create a solid foundation with your partner and understanding your wants, your needs, but also you touched up on this earlier, being able to grow separately but together as well. And I think that comes with honoring each other's experiences. And there's a lot of like tugging and pulling happening because like you're venturing out to different spaces. But what do you think is, go ahead.
Also, what does the Kappa do?
I can't say his job here.
You can't? Okay. But you see how you doing this page, and not saying this is true, but you still on that social media thing again? Oh, you still doing that? Oh, I say, okay. God, man, I'm sitting over here trying to get this right here, and you over here on this social media thing. See, people like that, if you want to be successful, you're going through stuff like that at your house because you're pursuing this goal. And you're saying, no, this is important to me. Well, you ain't getting paid for it. You ain't this right here, blah, 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 blah. So these are common. This is what happens in marriages.
Right.
You don't get to see that because ours is perfect. And we don't talk about what we don't talk about. You know, we don't talk about the dynamics of me saying, well, how do you have kids?
No, we're praying.
Right.
Yeah.
And put kids into the mix. Put kids into the mix, and now you seeing your chance to be on own and do this right here off from a page you created, and you start blowing up your platform.
Right.
But at the same time, you're struggling with other things that you committed to prior to.
Yeah.
How do you balance that?
How do you honor your commitments that you had while still building on
And growing.
the goal?
Yeah.
And growing.
Yep. One of the best advice that I received right before we got married from our pastor was just remember that you both will be changing and expecting different things from each other almost every 3 months, because your likes and wants and needs will be different because you're growing and evolving. And if you're not communicating on a constant base, then it's an opportunity to grow apart. And that's something that stuck with me. So in any venture that I go after, I'm an entrepreneur as well, like being able to keep your partner on to let them know what you're doing, to let them into your world is very important.
Yeah. The trust and the communication is very important.
That's
And
so
the
true.
communication is listening.
That's so true. That is so true. Oh wow. Sorry, I got caught away. Let me just get a few more questions.
Okay.
Yes, I will be saving this live. If you can't comment, I don't know. I think it's because you were not following the page. So that's probably is the reason. I don't see any other comments on my part. Oh, there's 2 comments that maybe this is an opportunity to clear the air. When you both went live to talk about the social media you talked about like your dissatisfaction or dislike about how your accomplishments weren't highlighted, and there were assumptions being made as far as like YouTube throwing shade at Melody when you talked about like, oh, we don't have t-shirts or we're not creating this.
We sell T-shirts.
We do. We have black sweatshirts.
Yeah, so we're talking about T-shirts in general.
Yeah.
And it's a if the shoe fits, wear it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what we said earlier is
it was
that
about us.
Our goal in this is that we want the other things highlighted.
Right.
We want the things that build up this community highlighted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We push that on social media, and that's been our. We've always said it. When we go back and negotiate, we say, listen, I want to focus more on business. I want to focus more on business, and we're able to do this other stuff and focus on stuff like pictures of people's backs and shit like that because we want to focus on business, and we'll put up with that right there. But it has to be some point where what we actually do, what we actually do, what we give our time to and our life to, actually has to actually matter. You know, and so when you put up social media, and really it's not because I want people to see this. Listen, on television, there are no black general contractors. There are no general contractors.
No.
I'm saying no one's building this right here.
No.
I just built a $15 million apartment complex.
Wow.
And we built a shopping center. And we're building things. And the point is that you have a young black developer, right? Who went back to school, went from state, all these different things.
From a stay-at-home mom to back to school, getting her second master's.
And to me, that has to be included
in our story. In
the story of love and marriage, the story of who we are.
Right.
Has to be included. It has to be included that Maurice is an actual lawyer, a consumer protection lawyer. You know, we have to include these things, that they're buying property. These are the things that they're showing on their social media that they're doing. It's just not the bickering. It's not that. And so that's my dissatisfaction.
Because we're doing major things. Like we're not doing small things. Like we're doing dope major things. And it's about this young girl that's living in the projects that's watching this TV show. She's like, oh my God. Tisha said she grew up in the projects and she was crying because she had nobody to help her with her homework. And now she has her second master's. She graduated with a 3.9 GPA. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's building this this retail plaza. Like you have to show those things as well. Right.
I mean, because really, I mean, sort of funny thing is people say, oh, you just mad because you get to shine and you got to do this, you got to do this right here. But that's not the case.
Because we get to shine.
Because we get to shine. I mean, we don't want a damn television network. We get to shine anyway, right?
Well, are we going to be able to see some of the things that you talked about on the show? Because I think that's the other question. We
don't really edit the show, but
we do
show our social media.
I know.
You know, so we encourage people. I mean, there's not a lot of time in this in our segment. You know, there are 6 main casts, like 4 or 5 other people on the outside of it. And so, you know, I think the show does a pretty good job of trying to highlight what we do well. And they try to, and what all fits in the story. Because I think that everyone on the show is so dynamic for the most part that you could do an hour-long show for each person.
Right.
You know, so I'm very grateful for the time period that we have and the platform that we have. But when it comes to these certain things, I do want to be vocal about that because at the end of the day, this show's gonna go away. We're gonna get old. We're no longer gonna be relevant in whatever society. And I want to make sure that the things that we're talking about are the things that stick. And that right there is building of the community, building of the people inside, understanding that we are enough, and as a people, we can grow together.
Right.
Period. Yeah, that is so true. There is a question about Marsau. Where is your relationship with Martell? Where does it stand?
My relationship with Martell. I think Martell's a great guy. No, I think that Martell and we had some challenges in our relationship, and it is very, very hard to overcome some of those challenges. I'm the kind of person that, in general in life, is that what Tisha was talking about that she does, I do very well. Is that I change my expectations of people instantly, and sometimes that's a defense for me, and sometimes it's not. So I can forgive easily,
right?
You know,
right?
Easily. It takes nothing for me to forgive because that shit will never happen again. You know, you don't have to worry about apologizing and saying you won't do it no more.
Right.
It could never happen again. Right. You know, and so we are growing, and I'm understanding more of his dynamic and the position that he was in life. And it's really tough. It's tough because you broke a glass. and now we got to put it back together.
Yeah.
And so the best that you're going to get is a broken glass put back together.
Yeah.
You know, and the question is, will it ever hold water again? And my thing is, maybe it made again something new and something different. And I think that's the same thing with broken relationships across the board. Is that me and him had more than a friendship. We had like a brotherhood. We were family friends.
Yeah.
And so, the toughest thing, and you guys are going to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
The toughest thing is not what someone does or how they treat you in a certain situation. It's the fact that they have the capacity to do that.
Right.
And that's what kind of
hurt more than anything.
Yeah, it hurts more than anything. But we're growing and we're trying and we're moving forward the best we can. And so we're taking what pieces we have and we're moving forward. Like I said, Markel is a good guy that was in a dark place, and he's still going through a lot of stuff. And my heart goes out to him because he's isolated with the world that's stacked against them, and people simply just don't know. And they really think they know. And it's really sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad to a certain extent,
I know. I have so many follow-up questions about that. One being, do you guys regret doing the show because of how your friendship dynamic kind of shifted? Because you say you guys were family. Okay. Or do you think the show contributed to where you guys are in your friendship?
I think anything that strike the head, reveal the heart, and I'd much rather have anything that revealed how anybody is going to be and how they are. I'd hate for me to, I hate for me to be, in a life or death situation before I found out, where people stand.
How you really feel about me.
And so I want whatever it takes to get people to reveal, where they are and what the strength of your relationship is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm in construction. Only way to know how much something can take is to break it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Sorry for making this interview long, you guys. I didn't expect it to have this deep conversation.
Okay. Some good questions, some good conversation. So that's good.
You can get about 15 different rumors out of it.
I know. The two more questions that I have is recently there was a post from the mistress about suicide and the effect of the show. Have you guys seen that? If so, do you have any comments about that?
I've seen that.
Yeah, we saw it.
I think it's
a tricky situation.
To me, it's not even that tricky. I'll let you go first.
Well, I feel like it's tricky because I know suicidal is real and you cannot take that lightly. But I also know you put out stuff and that's real too. Mm-hmm. And it's tough. Like, this reality TV world is tough. And you have so many people coming for you. There's a lot of mean people in this world. Like, I didn't realize how many mean people is in this world. And so it's like, for me, it's just tricky because I do feel sorry because I can relate and feel to what she's going through as far as the heat that she's getting. And it's like, I can't take this. But then again, it's like, girl, you got to remove yourself from this situation. And you can't be coming for people because, like, you made a whole statement, like, about me, about I hurt Tisha feeling. And I'm like, first of all, don't make threats, but I didn't do anything to you. And nor have I said anything about you. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you can't throw this stuff out there. But then when you get the heat, you're like, oh, I can't take this. So that's why I say it's tricky.
Here's what I believe in that situation. I think that Martell, Mel, Ariane, I think you're talking about three different dynamics of the same person, right? And these are people, they're fighters. They fight. And they're going to fight, and they care about image to the point where they're going to fight and push everything they possibly can out, even while they're hurting on the inside.
Yeah.
And even while they're being torn apart on the inside, they still want to portray this image of perfection and positivity, like I got it all together, when I know they don't. Mm-hmm. And so to say your actions don't speak up to your level of sensitivity, a lot of times people don't understand what insecurity and the difference between insecurity and strength is. I remember one time I was running to school. I was afraid of a dog. The dog had attacked me. And I was going to school, and the dog came out, and I started yelling and chasing the dog because I was afraid. And a lot of times insecurity speaks so loud. A lot of times, and all all this yelling and stuff is because there's emptiness on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of it is. And so while people are saying, well, you talked and you said this and you did this right here, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. It's because you're scared, you know? Well, because you're scared, you thought you could win in this situation. You thought that this tactic would work. And now that this tactic didn't work, and you're left looking stupid, and you're left looking hurt, and you're left looking like you're the bad person, then you want to retreat and show your real feelings. And pretty much now you're saying, here's the white flag.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Yeah.
And to that extent, who are we as a people, as a community, to say, no, I'm going to put my foot on your throat? Because anybody that says, I thought about it, at that point, it's a cry for help no matter what. At that point, it's real. You know what I'm saying? And maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong, but don't be wrong in this.
Yeah.
Don't be the one that says, I think she's joking. Let's keep going.
No,
Don't
we still have to
don't
be
be
human. We
heartless.
still have to be human in this situation.
You know, if somebody says I've had enough,
back up.
I'm gonna just take it like they had enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Because
hear
I'm prepared to kill.
I know. Anytime someone mentions suicide, I think that's something to be mindful of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of like mental health, Marsau, sorry about that. Last season you talked about like depression and you were kind of reluctant going to therapy. Are we going to see more of that journey this season? Are you open to going to therapy? Where are you with that?
I didn't speak about last year. I said this comment and it got blown out of proportion.
I know.
Yeah, last year I said that even at the times that I was most successful, the biggest feeling I felt was depressed. And it was because for me, I put my ladder up against the wrong tower when it comes to success. The two biggest things in my life that I've confused in terms of, you know, as a younger man, is I confused money for success and women for love. And so at this point right now, you step back from it and you say, this is what I really want in life. And because I grew up without money, I felt that this was the number one goal until you get it, until you get these things and you feel empty,
Right.
you know? And so that's what that was about. It was about, you know, making sure that your ladder leading to the right tower that you call success, understanding what it means in that capacity and being burnt out, you know? And you'll see, I mean, y'all probably seen on social media that I took a trip to Africa.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that, you know, dynamic played out for me. I think that it was very positive. I think it's one of the most positive things I've done in my adult life. And I think that it was really sharpened the saw and helped me revitalize and feel better about, you know, me and my life where I'm at.
Yeah. So, last question. If we can describe this upcoming season in one word, who would that be?
Dramatic.
Oh, no. Oh, no, Tisha.
One word to describe this upcoming season. I think it's true.
True, Tisha?
True.
Those are very opposite. Okay.
Sometimes the truth is dramatic.
We had different
That's true.
scenes.
And with this cast, I promise you, the truth is stranger than fiction.
What does that mean? I don't know.
The truth is stranger than fiction. It's so much. It's like it's so much. For me, it's like so much stuff that y'all. So much stuff you see. It's like really, and some stuff you see, you'd be like, that's not even the half of it. That's not even the half of it. So it's like, wow, this, you know, shout out to the cast for leaving it all on the field. You know, to speaking in their truth, to climbing up the mountain, you know, to really telling the world who they are.
The cast gives y'all the show.
That's very true. That's very true. You guys definitely do put out for us. Well, I apologize for this very, very long interview. It really was supposed to be 10, 15 minutes, but I appreciate you guys. Just joining this live very last minute, and thank you so much everyone for watching. I will save this live so you get to rewatch it if you missed it or if you came halfway. Tisha, Marsau, thank you again, and congratulations on season 4. Can't wait to see how this season plays out, and hopefully we can get on live again to talk about like maybe mid-season or as the episode.
Right.
Absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity and having us on to explain a little bit more about it. So
Of
it was fun.
course. Have a good one, y'all.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.